Okay, I think I'm done doing this up. It will be a little bit different than normally. Yeah, things look a lot more red right now, but we have, well, I cleaned the desk and I changed some stuff up, but nothing too much. Okay, there we go. I hope everyone's doing well and has had a good holiday season so far. I know there's still one more holiday until the new year. Well, technically the new year is the next holiday, but yeah. So I hope everyone is doing good. It's been a minute. I feel like I should have done one of these yesterday, but I don't know. Wasn't really feeling up to it too much. What's up, Hi How? Hope you're doing well this evening. Let's see if I can find a decent brush. I'll try my best. I need to put these brushes in different containers, I feel like. Is that really all I have left for my decent brushes? I think so. I think I just have these three, which... that is concerning, because these are not the good ones. These are... yeah, really not the best. Fuck, I knew I should have painted or cleaned these today. Might be able to get away with rehydrating some of these and continuing later, but we'll see. Grab my water. Set that there. So, what's up, Paint? Good to see you here. I just did a little bit of last minute cleanup, or setup, I guess. Realizing I don't have any... my last actual clean brushes are not my best ones. So I'm going to have to try wow, the thought is escaping my brain, and it's not that important. But what I am going to try doing today is finishing these guys up. I think... I'm looking at this a little bit more. Definitely going to try doing the glow stuff. I got to do the green on their plasma guns for these guys and figure out what I'm doing for glow there. And I also want to try doing some heating effect, if I remember correctly. It's been a minute. I haven't painted in like a while. I slowly lost a drive to paint, and now I have it again. So we're going to continue with that. I just need to try to figure out what I do first. I think I gotta pull out some contrast paints, get those done, and then I gotta do that. Like, have I talked about my Christmas? No, I have not talked about that yet. I've just been literally started a few minutes ago and just kind of thinking. My Christmas was decent. At least I think it was. Not anything too crazy. I'd say for ones I enjoyed. No, I don't ask for Warhammer models when it comes to Christmas because I don't like my family knowing that I'm into this hobby. I like having this just be my own little thing that my family members don't know about. I don't know why. It's just a choice. I mostly don't want them to know how much this stuff costs, and then them to be like, why the fuck are you spending this much money? I'm like, because I want to. It makes me happy. Okay, we're gonna need this one. And I seriously think for the glow effect on the plasma, I'm going to go with blue. Do I want to do that one, or do I want to do this one? But I did get some cool stuff. I want to work on... Okay. Am I alright? Blink twice if I need help? I'm fine. I'm fully good. I'm just, like, thinking about a lot of different things all of a sudden. Okay. Oh. Hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Outdoors, I hope you're doing well. Let's see, I think this one will be good for the eyes. I've been... No, I am not held in captivity in a basement. I'm in my office. What am I... Let me try to get my train of thought back together again. I'm trying to figure out how to set up a bigger workshop, and I want to do some... Oh, there goes my paint. I don't want to... Oh, I want to do some more streams that are not just this, but like actual bigger, like, streams. Like, more room to work on terrain or do cosplay stuff, all that kind of fun stuff. I'm gonna be really careful with this. It is a very, like, bumpy mat right now. But no, my Christmas was good. I got some stuff I asked for. One of those things being a new laptop, so I could do some mobile streams. Because, I mean, I use my desktop for a lot of things when it comes to streaming, and it'd be a pain to pick up my complete setup and bring it down to hopefully a future workshop, and it would just get annoying and in the way. Okay. So I'm trying to plan things out. I've had like no energy or motivation to do a lot of things recently, and that's, I think, more just the holiday season dealing with family. My battery to deal with them is just so super low, and I've had no drive these past 2 days, which sucks because I really have had a very long, like, vacation day off set, and I thought, oh, I'd be able to get so much done, but I've just spent more time, like, trying to recover from everything. No, it's not annoying. It's just there's a lot of drama when it comes to family, and it can be very taxing to deal with, which I think most people understand or deal with that. Like, when you see relatives, they can just be very energy draining. I guess the best example I can deal with is my grandmother is extremely negative on everything, and I tried to put a positive spin on, like, yeah. So So it's just trying to like recoup the social battery, the, I guess, anxiety stuff is just trying to like get back. Although I felt like that before, and coming on here does help. I really should have been doing this a lot sooner, but oh well. I'm also gonna catch up on some stuff. What's up, Dad? Good to see you here. I hope you had a good holiday evening so far. Let's see. What did you say earlier, Paint? You said your office, which is just a basement dungeon out in the woods of an abandoned factory with 2-ton big vault. That is a visual right there. Honestly, that sounds like a really cool like workshop office. What's up, Neo? Welcome to stream. I was just talking about my holiday season and trying to recover from family is the best way I can put it. But other than that, oh shoot, I don't have the notebook, but I am I spent some time to work on another project. I think I talked about before how I want to make a servo skull, kind of. I saw a video once and I watched it, and oh boy, was a lot more than I realized, of someone that made like a servo skull assistant. And no, I did not get the death note. Let's see, did I see the Whip of the Plague Marine? I did see that. I did. I've seen everyone's models in it so far. I should have replied. Everything that you guys post looks amazing. And I love seeing it. I should have done it. Actually, this Wednesday was Christmas. So I guess I couldn't have done it. But I should have made a little post just saying like, hey, show me what you're working on. And I'll try to post it, but I did not do that. I'll try to do that this coming week. But anyway, I started drawing up some schematics for the little servo skull I want to make. And I looked up like some material costs and all that stuff that I want to use and what I want it to do. Yes, I did see you posted some of your Trench Crusade stuff. How are the models for Trench Crusade? Like, are they... I guess, what's the quality compared to GW stuff? Would you say it's better quality, around the same? Is it easy to put them together? I think they only have one box of minis that you can buy. The rest you need to like 3D print your own. But you still have to buy like the STLs for that, from what I understand. Can you do what I want you to do? I think it kind of is. I love the look of the Trench Crusade stuff. I do want to get some of the minis at some point. I should figure out how to do it. And they do feel like peak Grimdark. They, honestly, if I got Trench Crusade minis, I'd probably use them in like some other tabletop games that I want playing or run. I feel like they'd be kind of good to do like a like a World War II themed D&D game or something like that. They feel really well suited for that. Most Trench Crusade models are proxy inspired by official Trench art and STL minis. Makers of Trench have just released the first war band kit and planning some unit kits. Yes, I do know most of it has been like STLs and like other proxy stuff. I do know it's that. I just haven't gone around to buying any. I think there was a stream I did that I painted up a bunch of like guys in gas masks and planned on using them in like Trench Crusade games in the future, or at the time I was painting them up for a Never Going Home game that I was going to do, which I am going to be doing again with some friends. It will be fun to do. I need to grab a paper towel real quick so I can actually clean off my brushes while I paint. So I'll be right back. What's up, Leo? I hope you're doing well this evening. Yeah, I'd say we're doing pretty well here. And all that. I'm glad you came and checked out stream. I just step away for a sec. What? Okay, paper towel to the side. How I wouldn't focus on making any minis yet for your game. I'd focus on the rules and seeing how it plays and letting people proxy their own stuff, just like how Trench Crusade's doing. Eventually, yes, do your own minis because, you know, that's what you want to do. You want your own thing for it. But allowing people to proxy and all that stuff would be pretty cool. And to give people the freedom to interpret the demons in their own way. Let's see. You said you have the plastic Prussian warband kit, and you primed some proxy units. Ooh, okay. I'll have to check that. Rory, what are you doing? Well, the door gets stuck on the rug when he tries to come in here. What? Oh yeah, he won't even push that. Our dog is being... He's being himself. He does not like when I have the office door shut, because he likes to come in here and sit with me and watch me. But then when I have it shut, he can't come in here. So then he barges in through the door. And then leaves it crack. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I'm excited to see more how Trench Crusade goes. I should figure out how to play it at some point. Like, I do want to try it. I should see if, like, my local game store has a couple people that play it and then watch them and learn how to play before just kind of jumping into it. Okay, we're going to try and use this very light blue for the plasma pistols. And House says that is the plan. I'm going to have art to how they kind of look. Yeah, I think that's honestly the best. Just get a bunch of art, get a bunch of like excitement behind your game and all that. I'm realizing now how it's a little annoying, but a lot of like what you have to do is you have to advertise yourself out there, and I don't like advertising myself, and I really should, to be fully honest. Like, I need to like advertise that I can do this and that, and start kind of putting myself out there for a lot of things, but it's a lot of work. And I will admit, I'm more of a lazy person when it comes to it, so to kind of just like sit there and put in the work has been, eh. Okay. I actually really like how this little light blue is turning out. Huh. Well, just read. Oh, come on. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that light blue, I think, actually works out pretty cool for the plasma. And now, going over to here. Paint says, I really like Trench Crusade. Your only problem with the game is the rules can be a bit hard to understand. But as time goes on, they will be more clarified. Makes sense. That's usually how it goes when they first begin things. They gotta work out the kinks. You also recommend that I watch battle reports and maybe lore videos and just read a bit about the lore. I don't disagree. I really probably should learn more about it before I do all that. And reading the rules as well is probably a good idea. The core rules are like 160 pages, but if you skip out the campaign parts, it's only about 50 pages. So they have 110 pages of just like lore and how a campaign kind of is. Huh. Honestly, a lot of like rule books I realize are just a lot of fluff. Like if they just went straight to the basic rules on how to run things, there probably wouldn't be that many. Oh god, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I actually don't know what I'm trying to say. I thought I had a train of thought, but it just derailed. Oh, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot. It's similar to Mordenheim. What is Mordenheim? That could have been really bad. I've never heard of Mordenheim before. I'm also not sure how to help you with what you got, because yeah, you need to advertise, but making an ad, I don't think I'd recommend making an ad. I would more just say use social media itself. Like, you have an Instagram page that you post like, oh, this is the artwork I have, and this is... No, I don't know about that. Hold on. To kind of stay continued. A lot of people just use social media as a way of advertising themselves and less about, oh, I'm going to make an ad and have that get me traction. If you show people like, oh, this is what I'm planning, these are the steps, treat it almost like a, what's the word I'm thinking of, like a Kickstarter. It doesn't have to be an actual like Kickstarter, but the idea of like, oh, we're going to show, like, this is the art for it, this is all that. Yeah, like, have a YouTube, but, you know, have, like, multiple social medias. Like, have the YouTube be like, oh, this is an overview, this is what we have planned. So it's like, these are the basic rules I have. And be like, oh, I'm looking for people to, like, test play there. And then you have an Instagram to be like, oh, here's some of the art for it. And, like, this is what we have planned. And then also advertise as well that, like, you're looking for people to test play there as well. And I'm assuming you're talking to more people than just in here about, like, Arcane. I'm assuming you're trying to reach out to other creators and stuff and see if they're interested in advertising. Like, if I'm correct, I believe Paint has shown interest. Not that you have a channel, Paint, but just an example of, like, someone that's interested and wants to, like, learn how it is. But now I'm gonna go back and just answer a couple things. Paint said one of your favorite parts of the rule reading was the early statements of the rules will always be free and you can use any models. Ooh, that's good. And then Neo said, you got a lieutenant with combi weapon. Oh, lucky. I do want a lieutenant with combi weapon at some point. Actually, I actually bought a lieutenant in Reaver armor recently, and I want to run him as a lieutenant with combi weapon. Like, I'm tempted to cut off his gun here and make it a combi weapon instead, but at the same time, I really like the pose on this guy, so I gotta paint him up and all that. And I have a custom lieutenant here that I am using in a crusade with my friend. So far, we've only done one game, but I'm working on his upgrade currently because I think he's going to go from lieutenant to captain, and then depending on how it goes, we'll try to get him to chapter master. So I'm going through and I'm using, because I've used 2 parts from the Master Lazarus kit, actually 3, his helmet and both his arms. So I'm basing his upgrade just on Master Lazarus with the same arms and gun, and I'm changing it so I can do the helmet too. So, yeah. I know there's a lot of stuff over there. What's up, Game Master? I hope your cosplay is going well. And what were we talking about? Pain. You said you worked on a sci-fi world. You don't have much, just some 300 to 400 year old universe lore, 20-ish characters, and 3 unfinished stories. I don't push so much about the universe, just like that. Just talk about it. And then you go on to say, like, yeah, we'll go from, like, Chapter Master to Primarch to Emperor. That's exactly how it goes. Okay. So, I need to do a bit more than what is currently in here. But let me do all these guys for my glow. I think there's one that I gotta do a little bit more. Nice. That is good to hear. I think this is the one that I wanted to test. See how I can get things to look when glowing. I like how it kind of got a little bit of a teal look after drying out a bit. I think that's really cool. Oh, I finished season 5 a little while ago. I enjoyed it so much. Just throw that in there. It's probably not going to look as good as I hoped, but it is something. I can add also another layer. You know what? We'll do that. We'll do another layer of light blue. Oh, part 2 is out now? Oh, I gotta watch part 2. I've only watched like part 1. Okay, I guess I know what I need to start watching again. Although, I am rewatching Delicious in Dungeon and enjoying that very much. I forgot how much I like Laios. I'm not going to say anything about Stranger Things. I don't want to spoil anything about the new stuff out. I might have spoiled things previously because the previous season's been out for so long. But at the same time, like, I really shouldn't spoil anything for people. I was very iffy about the Stranger Things in the beginning. Like, what really got me through it was the the D&D references, and I kind of had to switch like my mindset to it. Well, it's not really a spoiler, but I had to like start thinking of it less as a show and more as a actual D&D campaign, and how every single person that is in it is doing like a different version or genre of a roleplay game. I think that is still drying, and this can get that second layer that I hope for. I know it's a lot of paint I'm throwing on there, but I'm okay with it. I will say, if you like fantasy, okay, if you play D&D and you want a well-built, I guess, lore or something like that, I guess all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to recommend Delicious in Dungeon. I love that anime. It's actually, I think, now my #1 favorite anime. It combines like two things I really like. And yeah, I just got to like season 2 on that again. I'm about to finish that. They just met up with like some of their old party members. It's before like Laios' sister shows up and is all transformed. Let's see, let me just check. Yeah, it kind of is good to like go back and rewatch older seasons or shows again another time, and you pick up on more details. That I don't disagree with. I don't disagree with that with one bit. If I ever run a D&D game again, I'm going to use that as inspiration for like some of the larger dungeons that I'll have my players in, or just in general for like tabletop games, on how like, I just like the idea of a giant living ecosystem and how you do need to be balanced with it. And if you're going to travel in something that large, you really should kind of like think about eating the things inside there and what is safe and what's not safe. Because you also think, you eating the monsters, you're also learning how to defeat the monsters better. You're educating yourself more on the monsters and on how to defeat them better. So you're really making yourselves better adventurers by like killing and butchering these creatures and eating them. And then you understand like, oh, we can then use these creatures for this, and it will also help by doing this and this with them. I think a good one example that comes to mind on explaining like why people should kind of do something a certain way is the mandrakes. With the mandrakes, like if you let them scream and yell, it drives out this toxin that must be the thing that kills you, but it also changes the flavor profile of the mandrake. So like probably when you use a mandrake in spellcraft, one that has screamed has better effects than one that has not screamed, even though you can get more by doing it that other way of just dispatching it before it screams, then all that. So I was just like, there has to be a better way than getting a dog and having it pull the mandrake out with like some sort of what am I trying to say? Marcel's idea of getting a rope, attaching it to a dog, and pulling out the mandrake, and then that's how the dog expires, is... I don't like that idea. No, it is more difficult with D&D, but it's just that idea of, like, they're building a monster manual. They're finding reasons, like, why certain things happen the way they are. I also like how they hint at, like, it's in season 2, but they hint at the like another plane that magic comes from that feeds the dungeons and all that, and where people like get the monsters or where the monsters come from and everything. That is a hold on. Durkar Och Demon or Demoner? I know I butchered that. Well, that's a hell of a name. Dragons and demons. I like that. I don't know about playing a game of D&D with chat or all that. That I feel like that'd be hard to do. That feels like a difficulty-ish thing. there's probably a way of doing it where people have done it, like where they chat builds up points, and then they spend those points redeemed wise to do certain actions, but you all control different characters. I think I saw something like that, but I don't think it'd be something that I could easily run. I have been itching to play D&D again, or some sort of roleplay game. I reached out to a couple friends today, actually, to be like, hey, are you guys interested in playing, like, this game? And they both are. So I'm like, okay, I will. This is the game, and I will let you guys know about when I could possibly run that and everything. Well, I haven't said when I could possibly run it yet, but I like to ask interest first and then go from there. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, everyone is a stranger on the internet right now, technically, and all that. So I'm cautious with it. I have been a part of a couple Discord servers that you don't join video calls to run D&D. They download some like bots and all that, and you can roll dice with those bots, upload your character sheets and all that. What's up, Dorzo? Welcome to stream. And there's I think it's a big one. It doesn't have like a big large story all connecting, but it's more like you make a character and then someone posted a quest board and you join a bunch of, like, I guess there are a bunch of one-shots, but you can keep playing the same characters over and over again. I can pull up the name of the server in a sec. I'd just say like a person passing by. Let's see. The name of the Discord server that I'm still in it, but I'm not active in it. It's called D&D World. I have no idea how people find it or can join it. But yeah. No, and that's also something true. Like how Doors was saying, you can also join a D&D game of complete strangers. Like, they have D&D events at huge conventions and stuff. Also on Roll20. Roll20 is a perfect example of, like, oh, they post games and taking part of it. And sometimes you find good groups and sometimes you don't. I've been fortunate that I haven't had a bad group yet. I do realize that I have been the problem player. And I learned... I had some growing pains on becoming a better player. I'm not perfect. I still gotta work on some stuff. But I need to be okay with it. Sometimes I feel like I insert myself in situations that I don't need to be a part of, or I might take the spotlight on something. Yeah. No, that's fair. Well, if that's the case, Hal, then you might need to, like, reach out to your friends and stuff, or just other people and be like, hey, I want to be a part of a game. Can we, like, run a game? And then, you know, just go looking. There are plenty of groups out there. What does Pink say? Thanks for the recommendations. Haven't played D&D. Might in the future, but I got IRL stuff and the current hobby so far. Trench Crusade 40k AOS, writing, drawing. Yeah, it does take up time. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I'd be interested to see how that turns out, Dorzo. I will say, I don't expect people to, like, take my recommendations and kind of go with it. I want to, like, take part and run in a game. But I also make myself extremely busy. But I gotta take the time to do it. Well, then how? Maybe you don't need to reach out to your friends. Maybe you need to go to, like, your local game store and see who's... Ask them, like, hey, are there any games or stuff that are being run? Like, there's plenty of ways to go out there and, like, join something. Or even, like Dorzo said, join something online, like with Roll20 and all that. Also, talking about Dorzo, he said, I guess you get points to pull main pro tag BS, like pull your staple or something. And then Paint says, life is starting to pick up its pace and has me have to start axing some of my hobbies soon. That's right. Because you're going to be starting school back up again, I'm assuming? At least my assumption is that's the case. Okay. I'm done with the contrast paints. Now I can actually move over to the proper paints, I'd say, and do that. Oh, yeah. Adulting. Adulting's the big thing. God, trying to balance my hobbies and adulting and everything else. I just want to have fun in life, and sometimes it's not always possible. I like having fun for as long as possible. I keep hooking that, and I'm going to pull it off one of these days. That... I think that's actually dried out the way I wanted it to. But I should probably take the green and bring up the brightness on it a little bit. I should also mix it with like a light blue color too for the real brightness. And we're also going to work on the jetpacks. So they're not just yellow lights. They're actual looking like heating up metal. At least we're going to try. You can make good money with construction depending on what company you go with, but your body can leave very broken. Yeah. Hello, Rory. What you doing, bud? I know how you feel, Dave. I know how you feel. I feel like it's taken me 10 years to kind of realize where I really want to be in life and what I actually like to do. We'll do this one. Sometimes I wish I knew what I wanted back then, so I could have jumped on it a lot earlier. Or learned some of the things that I do now way sooner. I think plan for like the broad spectrum basic things, but be okay with your plans changing. Have a goal. No, that's true. I've enjoyed my life. I've been able to do some really cool things because of it. But I'm also realizing now where I want to be, and I need to start working towards that. And that's hard because I just want to be at the end step already. I don't want to put in all the work. But I got to put in all the work because I won't enjoy it if it was just all handed to me. That's not bad advice at all. I was gonna say try to plan for 5 years, but I like Dorzo's information better. Just yeah. Start with just start with the simple part. You know, what do you want to complete within a year? What is an essay? What is an HSA? I'm actually asking that out of curiosity. Because I've never heard of that till now. Oh, healthcare stuff. That makes sense. I've been floating by for like 10 years of my life. I've kind of like had a general, I'd come up with an idea on what I'd want to have at a certain point in my life, and then I'd forget about it and not end up working toward it. And I've always just had the mentality of like, oh, I'll just do what I want to do when I'm older and I have enough money. But then I keep floating through life, just kind of not really planning anything that well. And now I'm at the point that I really need to have a set plan and do what I like to do. That's not a bad, that's actually not bad at all. I'd honestly say for a long time, I thought I was just going to inherit my parents' business. And now with this past year, I realize that their business is not one I enjoy at all. And I need to figure out what I really want to do. I'm still going to be working for them for a bit to try and sort out my own stuff. Because I have a job is the main thing. I have a job that pays me money, that pays me enough money to do some of the fun things that I want to do. But I need to also work on some other stuff on where I want to be. I will admit a lot of my goal stuff just kind of boiled down to this stuff because I really enjoy being here and like chatting with all y'all and enjoying my hobby for like the fun part. Like I really do enjoy coming on here, painting and yapping to a bunch of random strangers on the street. Honestly, I feel like a street performer, and y'all are just the random people that are like deciding to sit and watch. What's up, Clownfish? And I really appreciate like all y'all sitting here and watching and wanting to just hang out. This might be too bright of a green that I jumped to. It feels like way too much of a green. It can be paint. It definitely can be. But you handle it the best you can. What sort of new stuff do you got, Clownfish? Should really make sure this is a lot wetter. Doesn't feel as wet as it should be. Ooh, nice. I don't have those minis yet. Those sounds like a good set of minis right there. Yes, I know of him. Or I looked him up after he was named and released and all that. And I've heard of the war he took part in I've heard of it before. But I didn't really know much about it, and now I need to do. Dude, dreadnoughts are so much fun. I love dreadnoughts. I want to get a venerable dreadnought at some point before they stop making it, because it is a older looking model. I'm trying to think. I think they're being replaced by like Redemptor dreadnoughts and all that stuff, which Redemptors are still cool and very fun. He is one of the leaders of the Astral Claws who, during the Badat War, half split into chaos, which caused the other loyalists half to become traitor, libeled, but they're still loyalists. Damn, that kind of sucks. You're still loyal, but you're considered a traitor. Oh. I gotta read up on that lore for that, because I've heard like, weren't like the Lamenters were a part of it, I believe, or they took part kind of like on accident. Or I guess they were tricked onto it. You got too many books on the list. Okay. I'm gonna show off what we got done so far. So I'm going with a lighter green on these, and I like that lighter blue instead. I want to keep the dark green on the definitely shadow parts. Could have done better on the second gun, but yeah. Yeah. The Badad War. I guess Badad or Badad. I don't know. I'm not good with pronouncing things. Excuse me. I gotta read some more books. I gotta read some like other books on just Space Marines and Imperial books. I gotta read some like of the Xenos books and some Chaos ones, because I'm realizing my mindset is very skewed when it comes to the 40k like lore universe. It's very Imperial based. I look forward to seeing it, Clownfish. That's up to you, Clownfish. It really depends. If there's... I'm always down for people to make custom stuff whenever, because it's creativity. Like, I made a custom chapter and all that stuff, but I realized after I made my chapter that there was a chapter similar out there already. Or at least the home planet is similar. Not that these guys are similar to that chapter. So I would almost say, like, go and look at all as much Space Marine stuff as you can for paint scheme and chapters out there, and just find something you like. And if you just have to paint a couple models as test models and see if you enjoy them and all that, or read their lore or whatever, just go out there and see what's out there first before maybe jumping to a custom chapter right away. Cause it is quite a bit to think about. Yeah, there are so many chapters. Like, for my Marines, I pretty much stole things from 4 other chapters to make my, like, custom chapter. And something that I thought I was being, you know, kind of unique and original about. Not fully being unique and original, but... yeah, you do a base of purple and then, like, bone and metal. Or, like, a tan and metal. If I remember correctly. I feel like there's something out there similar. That's very true, Paint. What about it? What about the, Bad Dad War? Let's see. I can actually... Oh yeah, I have heard about that. Yeah, the limit... okay, the Lamenters were a part of that because I got tricked into it. Okay. Now I know what I kind of need to research to, like, learn more about it. You know, I do want to say, Clownfish, I went through many changes before I decided on my custom Space Marines and all that. Like, I thought I wanted to do a successor chapter of Salamanders. And then... well, thank you. Yeah, I... kind of based off my 3 favorite colors, mostly being like blue and orange, And I like black as a good accent between black and orange. And the other one is being green. I'm a very big fan of green. Personally, more emerald green, if anything. But I take what I can get. So, the Hawk Lords. Okay. I'm going to look up the Hawk Lords real quick so I can see that color scheme. Because I was also thinking, your color scheme is similar to another one I've heard about. Hawk Lords, 40k. Ooh. That is a very cool color scheme. I'm going to pop over to the Discord real quick and see what you posted before, Clownfish, on your custom. Oh yeah, you did show the Venerable. I gotta get myself a Venerable. Not that I'll use it, I just think it looks cool. Yeah, yours is very similar. That's cool. I gotta say, the Hawk Lords are a cool looking chapter, and your paint scheme is very cool looking as well. What's up, Lily? Welcome to stream. I mean, I could, but I'm also okay with like my models sitting on a shelf looking cool. I actually kind of cleaned my office. That's why my desk is so clean and neat now. And I got things organized in here. I gotta set my models up a little bit better to show off, but yeah. I do also want to say, welcome Van to the stream and all that. Yeah, I know. It's not gonna stay clean for long. It's not going to stay clean for long. Nor really should it if you are a person that does a lot of building and painting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not going to stay clean for long. It will get messy again. It's just after the Christmas season, I got so much stuff. Or I got some stuff and I need to make room for it. Like, my mother actually got me a larger one of these mats. Like, it was too large for my desk. So she switched out with her old one for me. And I'm like, oh, I wanted one of these for a bit so that I wouldn't worry too much about... oh, what's the word I'm trying to think? I wouldn't be worried about cutting into, like, something that's important. This is meant to be worked on. How big is my army? Okay. It's been a while since someone has asked this. Do you want painted models? Do you want built models? Do you want models I own? What are you asking for specifically? Because I'm going to ask because I have multiple answers. Okay, Van's asking for in general, and Lily's asking entire army. For Space Marines, I have over 3,000 points. I don't know individually what each one is and what I have. I have more unpainted models than painted for Space Marines. I have 2,000 points in Custodes, 1,000 points painted, and 1,000 points unbuilt. Which I gotta build them at some point. And then for Tyranids, I have around 1,000 points in general. I think I have over 1,000 of just some stuff built and painted and unbuilt. And then I have over 1,000 points in guard. And then I got a spearhead for Age of Sigmar that I've kind of worked on off and on. But I'd like to think I'd have a full 1,000 points painted and done of my Space Marines by the end of the year, and then switch to a new one, but I don't think I will. I will answer your questions. I want to kind of get some paint on. I spend too much time talking than I do painting. Okay. So, Paint said they probably have 600 minis by now. Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Thank you, Patrick. And, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but I'm glad that you watched that video and are getting into it. Yeah, I haven't made one of those videos in a while. Crap. I planned on making one about the Ultimate Starter Box, but I have not worked on that one in a bit. My thoughts on the Ultramarines and the Blood Angels? I think they're both cool. I think all Space Marine chapters are cool, and all that. I think Space Marines in general are cool. I don't have anything bad to say about... Oh, yeah. I would start with the introductory and see what you think of it there. The Ultimate Starter Box is over like $200, but I will say when I was going through and pricing everything up and kind of deciding from there, because it was going to be very similar to like the introductory box price-wise, it is worth the price, but I would wait until like 11th edition comes out now before even like going from there. When did I start 40K? I started it... I'm over a year and a half now into 40K. Like, my first video that I posted on here about it, I think I was like a few months before that. Okay, I gotta read chat. I feel like I'm behind on chat. I would say, Confish, that also, like, your chapter was similar to The Emperor's Children, just because purple in my mind, that's what it's associated with. Oh, and someone asked about my favorite character / squad. Okay, hold on. Van. So, are you asking in general for 40K lore, which one's my favorite? Or, like, out of my army and stuff that I painted, which one's my favorite? Also, have I done a Dreadnought? Yes, I've done a Dreadnought. I'm going to pull up Big Jim. Let me get Big Jim, and I will show you guys. Also, kind of catching up. I don't have any Centurions yet. I should get some at some point. But one sec. Let me grab Big Jim. Actually, I should grab all my Dreadnoughts that I painted up. Mr. Rory! My greatest bean. Come here, Big Jim. I need you. Mr. Roby. Sorry. Okay. Screw it. We'll do these two. First, this is Big Jim. This is my favorite Dreadnought, probably second favorite. And then I got this guy. But let me just I go through. So yes, I got the Dreadnought. Okay. Personally, when it comes to painting, they're a very large bottle of paint. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I will admit, I used this guy with a really cheap airbrush to get him base colored and then contrast painted, but if you don't have an airbrush, that's fine. There are many ways to paint this guy. You can... Sorry, I'm watching my dog try to leave. I want to make sure he's okay. Contrast paint will be your biggest friend depending on the color you use. So like if you dry brush, or you can even, yeah, slap chop is a big one. You can use these guys on. Also, if you're okay with it, I would say to help you on the dry brushing, it won't look the best, but it's something that you can do. Oh, Imperial Fist. I have a recommendation for you then. So, if you're doing Imperial Fist, paint your models pink. Paint them pink and get yourself this contrast paint. This is Imperial Fist contrast paint. So the reason why I say pink is because all these shoulder pads on my Marines have been painted pink, and then the contrast paint changes the pink into a more brighter orange color, I guess. You could also use white as well. I saw it once someone doing with Space Wolves and all that. Big Jim and Bigger Jim? No, this isn't Big Jim. Or this isn't Bigger Jim. Actually, I think I have a name for this guy. But I'm going to wait on that. I wouldn't say you need an airbrush. I got one that I didn't airbrush. I got I got this guy. So this is when I was first getting into Warhammer, and I wanted to paint Iron Drakes. So I did initially Big Jim and this guy in that color scheme, and I spray painted them black, and then I just went with a big brush and green paint and started painting where I wanted to be green. Goodbye, Lily. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Oh, well, yeah, you could. You certainly could. Although, I'm gonna, like, say another thing that you can use as well. Paint, or stop motion gamer. I call him Paint because his actual name is, like, Paint something. Something else you can use, I wouldn't recommend this style brush, but you can take one of these sponges, get them wet. I'd more recommend a makeup sponge. And you take your primary color of choice and you sponge on where it's large the paint you want. I did a lot of sponging on the knees and the shoulder here to get this transition of color, and then I edge highlighted my primary orange on just on the shoulder pad. So those are my recommendations when it comes to that. I feel like I got really sidetracked, and I had a lot of stuff kind of come in at once. What's up, Light? No problem, Patrick. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I probably gotta get back to painting as well. Van, you said you got some sanguinary guard, and you love the jump pack. Oh, I have not gotten those guys yet. I'd have to check them out. Thank you for whoever subscribed. I just want to say thank you for that. Painting is painting with paints from Army Painter to paint his army. That is very true. I do actually use that particular brand. I always thought I got kind of overstimulated there. I had so much going on. I had no idea how to, like, answer everyone's questions. I hope I got everything okay. And I didn't really miss anybody. Oh, another hobby that I'm into. So, for some that know, and for those that are new, I'm also into Magic the Gathering. I have a couple decks, and I just finished doing an Dragon. I just finished an Dragon deck, and I'm looking so forward to playing it with my friends. I'm probably going to lose really hard with it, but I'm looking forward to using it. What's up, hobbies? How are you doing this evening? Hope you're enjoying yourself. I am just painting up some Hellblasters and Inceptors. And trying to hopefully get them finished and all that stuff, but who knows? Ooh, nice. Very nice. Okay, let's take some Emerald Forest with my final thing, and we will throw that on next. I'm curious on what you are going to be working on. Oh, you're doing some Age of Sigmar models? Nice. Age of Sigmar has some really cool models. What is my thought on Rylanor? Are you talking about the Dreadnought Rylanor, like the Emperor's Children one? Or are you talking about something different? Or did I just mispronounce that? Hold on. I'm doing a whole lot of side questing here. Oh, he's got a model? Or did someone just paint him to look like that? Sorry, I just saw a random meme when looking him up. I think he's got a pretty badass line. I thought you were talking about like AOS as well, but then no, you guys were talking about wait, is there a AOS Rylanor? That'd be kind of cool. But no, I like from the little bit I've heard of him, I think he's very cool. I haven't oh god, I can't remember the word I actually want to use. I'm like distracting myself. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Do we know if like there's any scars on Fulgrim from Rylanor's virus bomb, like on his model? Well, Paint, it was good to have you here while we could. If I ever do a stream early enough for you, I hope you can join. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your morning and get some rest. I will try to make it in my schedule because I know I have a few people here from earlier time zones and stuff. Okay, let's do that. Can I actually do a edge highlight? I think I kind of did. Hard to tell. Very hard to tell. I appreciate it. I will try to have a proper stream schedule put up as well in the future for people as well. Now that the holiday season's coming to an end, I will try my best. Well, thank you. It's also nice to be on the big screen. My plan is always to get onto the big screen eventually, but it's nice to at least have someone put me there. I am going to geek out about this color scheme a little bit because I have... If you want paint, you can certainly do that. Oh god, that you reminded me of what I want to do for like Halloween. I wanted to, for Halloween, take your drawing that you made for me. And I wanted to draw it myself and make that be my Halloween little avatar for like that week. I never got around to it, but maybe in the future. What knight did you build it as, and what color scheme did you do? Because I'm interested in getting knights as well. So I like to see what other people have done. I'm going to bring this in closer. I'm probably going to have to brighten up that blue a little bit more. But I think I like that green, or set of green. And now to go into geeking out about my paint scheme. So, I've said a couple times, I have made my own custom chapter. I based their homeworld as a mixture of the first and second Jurassic Park movie. More focused on Lost World than Jurassic Park. I also based it off of like Monster Hunter, so Jurassic Lost World, Monster Hunter. I think there was a show called Primal or something like that. I'm thinking of like a show where people went back in time to the Cretaceous. It was on Nova for like a little bit. Anyway, they had to survive. Like Earth was just getting destroyed. Anyway, I tried to base my chapter's homeworld off of those ideas. The entire planet is nothing but roaming. Yeah, like it was a short run show, but it was a good show, or kind of good. I mean, it definitely had its flaws. I won't disagree, but I enjoyed it for the time. Anyway, I tried to make my chapter based off of that because I'm really big into Monster Hunter, and the JP series are my favorite stuff. I think it was ended kind of poorly. I'm not fully sure. I'm not really sure. But I based my chapter off of four previous Space Marine Legions, because I have like 4 favorites is what I based it off. So I tried to make a chapter that involved all 4 in some way, and I think I did. Pretty well. They were founded during the Ultima founding, on a newly rediscovered world. Wow, that is way too bright. The world suffers from, or the system suffers from a lot of warp storms that cut off the system every few hundred years. With these warp storms, a lot of space hulks and stuff show up, and that's kind of how the system's able to survive when the storms come in. But when the storms also happen, the planet kind of gets a little funky, and everything on the planet becomes more aggressive and starts attacking anything that's considered an outsider of the planet. And there's only really one safe place to actually live on this planet. It is a massive underground cave system that, as I describe it, the face of it, if we're using my stand, the mouth of it opens up like this as a huge arch. So it's a huge arch like this. And you can see like 1/16. Like it goes all the way up the cliff, the Hive City, and at the top is the chapter's monastery. You only see a fraction of it from above. So like we'll say this is like the fraction part of it. It goes way further down. The people on the planet haven't fully explored the cave system. It's also become forbidden by the chapter that has made this place their home. And every once in a while, the chapter drags like these large metal cages with some sort of creature that's like moving around and all that, just causing a lot of noise. And if anyone tries to like investigate what's going on there, they disappear, to keep it simply. They've also been able to find some older technology in these caves, but not really a lot. Not anything crazy. But most of the planet's population is in those caves. They do try to settle on the planet every once in a while, but the longest a large settlement has been able to make it is like 6 months, if that. There are a bunch of small communities that like are nomadic and travel and pretty much live like people in the Monster Hunter universe, just hunting the creatures, trying to survive. But when the storms come in, a lot of people try to get into the cave systems. Just reading up on what Light said. He said the knight is it's an Archon in teal, dark silver, and neon orange on the eye and vents, and you free-handed an orange lightning on some armor. Ooh. Yes, Darzo. How did you devise this evil plan to get your best friend to try tabletop? Okay, I'm listening. I do want to try this as well. Okay, this is a good start. So yeah, I guess if you dip his toe into something he already knows and likes, makes sense. Ooh. Okay. I am fully for this plan. This sounds like a good plan. Also, you kind of move. Oh, I will say with my chapter, I technically have 2 color schemes. Not technically, I do. I do have two color schemes. All my normal Marines are this blue, orange, black color with like green when I can throw it in. My first company, which is full of vets, is black armor with blue trim. And I stole that, and I'll fully admit, I took it from another homebrew Space Marine chapter that I saw. Not many people I've realized painted it, and I didn't want to repaint some of my models that I was already doing into that chapter, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to incorporate it into my own chapter. So you kind of saw it earlier with the Dreadnought, but I'll show it off with this guy. Excuse me. So this is a captain that I was running in one of my games. He's got that black armor, blue trim, all that stuff. I love using him. Sadly, he died during a crusade, so his story has come to an end. I think I'm good. They usually do. It does take a lot to base coat them. You can't decide what army to do. Well, what do you like in general? Like you said, you just finished a knight. Do you want to do a knight army? Do you like knights? Are you more of a what factions do you kind of enjoy? Is my question. I should also really do those guys' guns. Imperial Fist is never a bad idea, which reminds me. For those that are curious, my chapter's Gene Seed is also, I guess, my favorite chapters as well is Dark Angels, Salamanders, Space Wolves, and Iron Warriors. Those are the 4 Gene Seeds that make up my Space Marine army. They will never tell you that. If you try to dig around and find it, they will hunt you down and get rid of you. Was the best way to put it. They also have a gene mutation that I kind of like. I kind of stealing the Space Wolves gene mutation idea where they turn into the Wolfen. Mixing the Space Wolf and the Salamander DNA, these guys slowly turn into the Raptors from Jurassic Park. Or not really the Raptors, they turn more into the Seraphon from Age of Sigmar. Is my plan is to kit bash them together at some point, and that's what these guys turn into the older they get. I have a little quirk as well. Knights, Imperial, and Space Marines. Knights are expensive to do, but you can get the most models for your dog. No, to get enough points to do an army, you can go with knights. I just bought the $100 2 mini model knights, and I have 2 big knights as well. But Space Marines, everyone does Space Marines. It's easy enough to find someone trying to sell their army or something like that. Or they're always adding new Space Marine models, so I'm not sure if that was a lot of help, but that's just something I will say. Okay, let's do that one. And then Pure Red's probably really poor on okay. I think I'm going to use these 3 colors. So Lava Orange, Dragon Red, and Deep Gray. I'm going to use for these guys as little jetpack parts. I'm not painting the jetpacks. I mean, where it's yellow in there, I'm going to paint. Also, just kind of show you guys the green color and show you everything else that I got going on. I'll be happy to have these guys done. Kind of. I do got to paint their base up at some point. I just haven't gone around to it. We are going to do the orange. Looks good. What did you name your dreadnought, Clownfish? What did you name it? The Holy Microwave. I like it. That's a good name. I need to get some water and mix in that. I'm kind of thinking on what Light said. I love seeing all you interact together in stream. Okay, we definitely want that yellow a little bit. You know, it will be expensive, Light, but I would, unless you already have some space remodels, I would keep going with the knights. Because you can get one big knight and then get, like, if you spend $200 and get 2 of the smaller knight models, you'll have enough to do, like, an army. But again, that is $200 you're dropping right there. It's kind of tough either way. Are you asking me hobbies, or are you just asking someone in chat? Okay, that will be a better transition. Ah, okay. So you're asking Light if they want to build off existing lore or make their own. I don't think I did that too good. I'm better at doing it with blades and stuff than I am with just these little spots. I got something I kind of want to talk about. It's a little personal to me, but I need an outlet to vent it to. I'm not looking for advice or anything on it. I just need a place to vent, so bear with me with what I'm about to say. So I went to a coffee shop today One that I haven't been to a while. I feel like I'll add some context, not a whole lot, but I've been to this coffee shop before, and there was someone there that I thought that was really cool and I wanted to hang out with. And I was going there for a while, and eventually I got their number, just to make it simple and easy. And I let my brain and my emotions run ahead. I hung out with this person before, and they told me some stuff about them and all that stuff, and I heard it, but I didn't fully register in my head. Like, I heard them, I understood what they were saying. I eventually, I'd say I got too clingy. Yeah, I got a lot more clingy than what was appropriate, and I'm fully at fault for that. I know that was on me. I am the person at fault. I have tried to work on myself with this. Like, I know these are problems I have, and I realize where they come from. When it comes to this kind of thing. Anyway, I add all that vague context just for this one thing, is that I went to that coffee shop again for the first time in like months. Because, you know what, I said, I really like this coffee shop, but it doesn't matter if that person's, you know, there or not. It sounds so bad without adding some context, but you know what, stick with it. Anyway, in my head, I started to overthink and overanalyze the whole goddamn situation. And I'm like going up there and like, oh, if I see this person, how is this going to go? How's that going to go? And I went there, they were there, and we just had a normal interaction, is what it boils down to. I try not to show any... Okay, I need to add context. I feel like I need to add context for all this stuff. It's not going to help my case, maybe not. I don't know. I'm being way too pedantic about it and thinking on it. I've just been talking, like, I want to add a whole lot of things for the context on things, but I've been talking with people and realizing that I don't need... Wow, I fucked that up. Oh, that's fully gray. Okay. So, I think it's like 3 years ago. I'll just start from the beginning, and who's ever here listen will listen. There was this person that I thought was really cool and I wanted to hang out with. And I thought I worked on myself well enough that, like, yeah, we're just going to be friends. We're just going to go through, hang out, all that stuff. And we did. We hung out a few times, and I thought they were really good. And I think I hung out with them, like, 3 times within 3 weeks. So I was like, okay, once a week meet up, all that, hang out, keep being good friends. And then I stopped getting a response and I started spiraling in my head, making it worse and worse. That I eventually decided to just get rid of their number to help myself mentally because I knew I was becoming worse as a person through it. So then a few months pass and I see this person again and they ask for my number again and they apologize for not reaching out because of so-and-so reasons. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. That's understandable. Like, life happens. We all get busy. So I got the number. I chat with them a little bit more. I try to schedule another time to hang out with them. And this is the point where I know I screwed up because I was being too unsure and pushy about it. And I decided, again, for my own mental health, just to get rid of the person's number. That it was the best thing for me. And I am being the problem here. I am being too much. This is getting unhealthy. So I do that, and I move on with my life. And I picked up new hobbies. I went and started hanging out with some friends in a completely different area and just started to realize why I was the problem and why I was the issue for a lot of this stuff. And the thought still the person still pops in my head every once in a while, I will admit. And I think back on it. I think back on my time hanging out with him, and I look at the parts I enjoy and the parts that I can improve upon myself in the future and try to move forward with it. But like I said today, I decided I want to go to the coffee shop because I enjoy it. If I see that person, it does not matter. I'm just there because I really want a sandwich from that place because they do make good sandwiches. And like I said, I saw them and I had a small interaction with them. I had some like personal family stuff kind of happen. Like my job had some issues and they heard about it. So she was like, hey, I'm sorry to hear about that. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And then she asked me some questions on it. And I'm like, trying to be better about keeping it simpler in conversations. Like this. I'm trying with this conversation to keep it simple and not add a bunch of context. Is it working? Not really, because now I sound like this weird stalker dude, and maybe that's partially true. Maybe not. I don't know. I've learned to realize where some of these feelings and issues come from and where I need to work on them. But yeah, no, I kept my interaction short with him, and once I had all my stuff, I left. I didn't need to be there a long time to try and talk with this person. I wanted to help myself grow and move on. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Who knows? Yeah. And that's what I've been trying to do. That's what I've been trying to do. I will fully admit, It does not sound good the way I explained it. But you guys don't need all the context for the story either. Like I said, I know I was the one that was making things uncomfortable. I agree. I agree. It's not the first time I have dealt with that. That was an issue I had when it came to my first ever girlfriend. That she called me overly clingy and stuff like that. And I've realized that a lot of times it's how we're brought up on what we see our own parents do that affect us when it comes to that. There's a lot of mental things as well that I'm trying to work on. Like, I feel like I need to be told and reassured all the time that, yes, you are invited to something, people want you around, all that. Like, I look for some sort of validation that I really don't need. It's why I've tried to do a lot of things just on my own and be okay with being on my own and not always doing things with other people. I don't think I'll actually make these look good as all that. That's something I've had to tell myself, like, this year. An example being, like, I can be a very jealous person, and I realize that. That I wish I had. So I have a friend that is very fortunate that he was able to get certain opportunities that I wasn't able to do. And it made me feel, I felt jealous. I'm like, why does this person get this and I don't? And I felt that way for years. And then I started hanging out and being around this person more, and I was starting to have this more of a mental problem with it, and I had to sit and tell myself, what matters to me more? Does my ego on how I feel towards this person matter, or does my friendship matter more with this person? And being around and being a part of this awesome stuff they're doing. And I decided that my friendship mattered more with this person than my stupid ego. And the biggest helper, or the biggest teacher for this, I will admit, has been my own father. My father has an extremely large ego, I'd say, to the point that it hurts him. What's up, Jake? I probably should change subject, but what did you break already for your New Year's resolution? That's a hell of a thing. I don't even know how to respond to that, I'll say. I will say I appreciate people just listening and having a spot to vent about it that's not just family or close friends, because sometimes I'd rather just say to a bunch of random people on the internet that I'll probably never see again some of the stuff going on, and then it's done, because the likeliness of me seeing any of these people, or I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just happy to have a spot to kind of vent. Should I have vented about it? Probably not. But I will deal with my own faults when I get there. I've never seen any of the Twilight movies. I've been trying to be better about not letting it bottle up and actually talking to people about some parts of it. And some parts of things I got going on. Some parts not so much. I will admit, a lot of my life right now feels like a whole roller coaster. Like, I'm not even sure what to do and all that. But that's a personal thing I'm not going to get into. Nor that I need to. I've already made myself seem like this weird dude already. Oh shit, I just realized I did not do the cold blood on this guy's chest. I need to change things up. What I will say is that 2025 has been a hell of a year. I'm looking forward to it being over. I am happy with how this year's turned out in the end. I have some amazing friends. I picked up some amazing hobbies. I'm very happy, and I'm very happy with the person that I am and where I've come to be and all that. And I want to try my best to push some of that weird positivity feeling onto others. I'm not sure where I'm going with that, but that's my thought process on it. My thought process on it is I want to, I don't know. If I was to come across my channel, I want, God, what am I even trying to say? If I can't even figure out what I want to say, is it even worth saying? I don't think it is at this point. Okay, let's do this red, and then we'll move on to the gray if I can. Have you recommended that book before? I feel like someone has. I feel like someone I know has recommended me that book before. I'll have to check it out. I will have to check it out. But with that all being said, I gotta change the mood here. I made it way too somber. I made it way too somber. I hope all y'all are doing better than... I hope all of you are doing better than you were the previous years. Or, not even the previous year. I hope you're doing better than you were the previous week. I hope you have all done... Dorzo, I don't think that's a bad addiction to have at all. I mean, yes, it is expensive, but I don't think that's... There are worse things to be spending your money on. And all that. Jake, he says, yeah, I guess what I bribed the capitalist patron saint to give me. They came out with some good Battle Force boxes. I will not disagree with that. I gotta turn this guy this way. Are you the one? Yeah, you're good. You need some work. I'm also going to look up that book you recommended because I most likely need to give it a listen to. I got that book saved. I will give it a read. Nice clownfish. That's always good to hear. Why are you throwing out furniture from your house? Is it the furniture that got badly damaged and all that, Dorzo, or is it something different? Do. Let's see. I'll say 2026 is going to be a very good year, or at least it feels like it's going to be. I got a wedding I'm going to go to in the beginning of January. And then I got another wedding in North Carolina, which I'm looking forward to. And if I am lucky, I'm going to be buying tickets to a Magic event in Las Vegas and checking that out with a bunch of friends. So I have a busy year. It's going to be a good year. Is what I look at it. It's going to be a good year. I'm going to make it a good year. It's going to be my year. Well, why not all that, but yeah. What's up, Toast? Yeah, you did go to an event in Vegas. You did actually talk about it already, but maybe I will see some of you guys there. I don't remember the name of the event. I probably should remember because if anyone that watches me here does go to that, I would love to meet them. I'm sure there are plenty of other things there that will be going on. But yeah, I should also look up checking out some Warhammer events this year and other than that. Okay. We gotta do all the green on this. Oh, you know what's an event I do want to check out? I want to go to PAX Unplug. I've heard PAX Unplug is actually like really good. Wait a minute. Who are you gonna go find, Jake? That's a little bit concerning there, bud. I'm just gonna pop that up over in there. And then, sorry, I'm going on a slight side tangent. Events in is it MagicCon I'm going to? I'll double check, but I think I'm going to MagicCon in May. Oh, the Demon Grade Twilight. I've come to realize with you, Jake, that you are being very sarcastic, and it's good. It feels good to interact and joke with you and not be serious. Because if I took it serious, there's no fun. Okay. Actually, I need another paint and all that. What do you... Okay, I'll be honest. I don't keep up with the news or anything going on because it's so much bleh at this point. What even is going on? Like, how much of what goes on? God, there's a lot of bad in this world, and I know that. Not worth your thoughts. Yeah. I just stay out of the whole my brain. I don't know, I just stay out of the news. Like, sure, I'll hear about some of the stuff going on, but I got my own stuff that's closer to home I gotta deal with. Like, there's some... Yeah, if I looked into it and researched it, a lot of this stuff, it would matter to me. But I gotta worry about my own bills, my own life, all that. Oh, Tokyo sounds like such a fun trip. I should definitely put that on my list one of these days. I think I got 2 friends I want to go to Japan with. Oh, that sounds like a fun 30th birthday. Wow, we're not far in age at all. Oh, jeez. Has anyone here, like, played any of the new Pokemon games? I've kind of kept up with it a little bit, but I don't think it's... none of them have been, like... none of it really seems worth buying, I guess, if that makes sense. Japan wasn't that bad money-wise. Well, that's good to hear. Honestly, traveling is really good for the soul, and it's so much fun to do. If you can... Doing it solo can be tough, but just going and doing something like that, it's so much fun, and you make so many good memories doing it. Excuse me. What time is it? 9:35. Well, that was nice of you to pay for 4 other people and all that. Is it... I feel like if I go to Japan, I probably want to spend a day or 2 in Tokyo, but I really want to check out the countryside. Oh, okay. This is not something going on to me directly, but I want to talk about something that a friend of mine is going through that I find kind of dumb. I kind of get it, but I find it dumb. So, I got a friend that is living over in Austria, and he's got 2 passports. He's got his American one, and he's got his Austrian one. His American one just ran out, like, a few days ago and all that stuff, and I say this because he was invited to the wedding that I'm going to in January, and he can't apply for a temporary one because the timeline that he found out his passport ran out, it was too late because he needs at least 2 weeks, and the wedding is in less than 2 weeks now. He also, I guess the main thing that I'm baffled by is that they won't accept his Austrian passport if he flies over. He needs to have an Austrian and American one, which I don't understand why. Like, he still has a valid passport that is recognized by other countries, but to travel back to the US, he needs an American one on top. I'm upset by it because I really want him to go. I really want him to be there and hang out with us and enjoy, like, this trip. Because we got another friend from Ireland flying over as well. And it would have been awesome to have him, the Ireland buddy, myself, and my old roommate who's also going. Like, we're all friends from high school. So it would have been fun to be like, oh, we're going to be like in Massachusetts, hanging out with this friend. I'm just like, why is that a rule? If he has another valid passport, he should be able to fly over here in my mind. But I don't know. That's the thing today that I got kind of upset about. I mean, it's not my problem, but it sucks because I want my friend here. So, yeah. What did Jay see? If you were to ever go to Japan, your butt would try to make and see if you could find and fight. What? You'd want to try to fight a specific ghost. Okay. I don't really know that specific ghost, and I feel like I should. Also, Dorzo, I would be extremely mad as well if someone's tickets that I paid for and that they didn't get their passports and stuff sorted out, like, before the flight. I say that where I also kind of freaked out about getting a hotel for this upcoming trip. Like, I have 2 weeks until the wedding and all that. Luckily, a friend of ours booked 2 rooms and only wanted to book one, so they reached out to us and we're like, yeah, we will happily take that room. How much do I need to pay you? So, I worked out with that. I love that! That's funny as fuck! I apologize about the swearing, but... That's funny, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Summertime. Well, he should have went on the trip. If he's upset by it, he should have went on the trip. I will admit, there's been a couple times where I remember freaking out about if I was actually able to go on a certain trip or not. I'm like that now too, currently, because I got the one to North Carolina and then I got the one to Vegas that I want to do. And I'm kind of freaking out, like, how am I going to afford both of these? Am I going to be able to do both these trips and everything I want to do? And you know what? It will work itself out. I'm going to be able to do all the trips that I want to do. If I really do have to cancel, I'm going to try and find out months beforehand so that I'm not spending a stupid amount of money on all these trips. Summertime. I'm looking at the plasma guns on my Inceptors and I'm like, not liking them as much as I did before. Like, I'm looking at these and I'm like, are they really that okay? And I'm like, I don't think so. But you know what? I'm going to leave them. Because it's a lesson that I'm going to learn. And it'll be something that I'll have to look at. I really should. Well, can I do that? Okay. Currently at my job, to get a little more personal, but not as personal as it was before, there are 4 people that work for the company that I currently work for. My 2 bosses, myself, and one other person. We're a 4-man crew. We're able to get stuff done. But if I leave for any of my trips, it means my bosses have to pick up the slack for when I leave. The other person can handle himself pretty well. He's like a 60 or 70-year-old dude. Actually, I think now I'm the youngest person in the company. And I can go into like why it's like this currently, but you guys don't need to know this. Then gets into like more family personal stuff, and I've already opened up enough tonight to y'all about that, so. What's up, Diego? Oh, are you actually like playing a tabletop game, or are you playing like Space Marines 2 Van? Ooh, TFT. That sounds like fun. I was debating about whether making tonight or not just be like a paint night, or I play Space Marines 2 with like chat. I'm glad I did paint. Nice, nice. Well, I'm glad you can have the stream in the background while doing your game. I hope we're entertaining enough. Now you have me curious. What faction are you 2 playing? Are you playing your... Were you the one that said Imperial Fist earlier? I think you are. Wow, this brush is not doing well. Oh, I will say ahead of time, I am planning on doing a stream tomorrow. I figured get a stream out tomorrow. That way I'm good for the week. We'll try to squeeze one in Tuesday. And when is New Year's? Ooh, okay. I'm sorry, Van, but I'm on Dark Angel. I'm on Team Dark Angels. So I'm sorry. I hope they win. Let's see. So New Year's Day is Thursday, but the 31st is Wednesday. So we'll do a stream on the 28th, the 30th. I'm probably going to have New Year's Day off, but yeah. But we'll definitely go back into the weekend. Sorry, I'm just looking at all that. And trying to plan out my week. So I should look at weather too. Oh, that's... I will not disagree with you, Dorza. Well, okay. Personally, I think the Lion... Do I think you'll win? Yes, I do think you'll win. I am Team Dark Angels all the way through. Because that's what I ran in a Crusade game that I played in. And I will admit, I did not win those games, but I came close. Not. Dark Angels have some badass models too. I love their models. The Lion is a badass model. The Deathwing Knights are a badass model. The Inner Circles are badass. I think what I want to grab next at some point is the Ravenwing Command Squad. No. I believe in the Lion. Okay. Hold on a sec. I'm going to do some quick math. So, I know that Deathwing Knights are 250 points. I know that the Lion is 315. I got to pull up a calculator. So we got 250. Oh, nope, not divided. Where is it? Plus 315 plus. I am distracted, but I'm allowing myself to be distracted. Dark Angels. Azrael. Points. Okay, we'll go to Wapedia. Because that is the most updated. He's currently 125. I'm sure someone has already said it, but I'm not looking at chat. Inner Circles. I believe Inner Circles are 90 points. Yeah, if you're running 3, it's 90. So plus 90, and then... What'd you say you also had? What's up, Unicorn? I hope you're doing well this evening. Darn it, I would have gotten there at some point. I'm going to finish the math. I want to finish the math. And then we'll look up... good old Belial. I haven't run him yet in a game. And he's worth 85. Yep, 865. Okay, that's a bit tough. Okay, I gotta continue. One thing I learned is that it's tough to play. Like, if you want to play some of the actual Dark Angel models at lower point costs, it's really tough. Because, like, to get the Lion, that's 315 points there that you just added to your army. And then the Deathwing Knights, which are really cool. I love the Knights, but they're so expensive. They're 250. It's like, that's really tough to bring to a game. Asriel, I think is okay. I haven't used him yet, but gaining a command point each turn is big. Personally, I like running Inner Circle with Judiciar for that precision. My main thing I will say is keep the Lion close to your other units. When I run him, I didn't do that, and I wasn't able to use a lot of his abilities. The Lion has a lot of abilities that if you keep other models close by, which I'm sure you already know, I'm just explaining to explain at this point. He's got a lot of good aura abilities. And it's important that, like, he's nearby and all this, but good night, Clownfish. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will say, the Lion is a beast. He's a beast when it comes to taking down infantry. You have, like, I think it's 8 or 16 attacks, depending on... Hold on. Listen, I can give him advice. Doesn't mean it's going to make him win. Dark Angels, and then Lionel Johnson. For those that are new here, I do have a little bit of a goal. I have 2 goals, technically. But so, okay. Yeah, I was right. You got 1 attack that gives you lethal hits, and it does 8, which is 8's not bad, especially if you get a couple lethals. And it's strength 12, minus 4 AP, and does 4 damage each. Or if you really want to wipe out some squads, you go for the sweep one. The sustain hits, pretty damn good. That wiped out I used the sweep attack once on a full squad of Khorne Berserkers with the Lion, and he took out the entire squad. It was a full, like, 10-man squad of Khorne Berserkers with Karn in it. And, yeah. Okay, Ando, you said start painting nids and they look like crap. Good. You know what? I'm glad that you're proud of them. You should be proud of them because they're your models. They are your models and you should be proud of them. Because you know what? They might suck now, but give it about 3 months, you'll improve. Give it another 3 months on top of that, you'll be even better. Give it a year and you'll be like, holy crap, I'm doing so well with my painting. Give it 5 years and you will be blown away from where you came from. Okay, and then Dorsa says Dante has this. And then it says, but Dante with his 6 inward guards will rock. And then Dorsa says, how does one get a hold of a builder? I have only done 1-page rules builder, which is free. Are you like thinking about an army builder? Like for Warhammer? Is that what you're asking about? Because if you are, there's a free one. Warhammer has a free one to begin with. The crappy part is you won't be able to see any of the data sheets or detachment rules unless you buy a codex and use the code in the codex. But if you just want to build an army, I believe it's called Warhammer 40K is the name of the army builder. And then you can just build the army and you can look up everything else online for free. Okay, I got really distracted. I need to get back in the painting. But let's see. Well, that's a cool pose right there. From the way that these guys look, this is pretty cool. Okay, what did Universe say? Universe said, so I haven't played 40K since the beginning of 6. I enjoyed the hobby and stuff, though I'm curious about you're curious about my paint scheme. It doesn't look familiar to me. That's because this is a custom Space Marine chapter that I am painting. I wanted to, for a very long time, make my own custom Space Marines. And I did some research. I tested a bunch of different schemes. I thought I wanted to paint Salamanders or a successor chapter of Salamanders. I thought I wanted to do a successor chapter of Dark Angels, all that stuff. I then stopped and realized that I wanted to use my 3 favorite colors. Those, not exact, but very similar to my little lizard guy's colors. I'm a fan of blue, orange, and green. So I messed around with a little template that, let's see if I can find it. Hold on. If I can find it. Here it is. Bam. Wow, that is large. Okay. So, I found this free template online, and I used I used Fire Alpaca to do the drawings. And this is how I came up with my color scheme for my Marines. Like I have shown before, the main armor is blue. I then use orange in a couple spots that I want it to be, and black is a good accent color, I think. It helps make the blue and orange pop on their own. I will also admit, I've copied this scheme to be based off my favorite Pokemon as well, which is a Swampert. So it's a little bit involved with that. Also, something that I do for my Marines, and I gotta do it. I gotta paint on some of these guys. I don't do... It won't really show up that well, but I'll... No! You can kind of see, like, on the helmets where the lines are. Those represent the Space Marines rank. No lines on the helmet mean they're basic battle brother. If they got one orange scar, they're a sergeant. If they got a black and then orange scar, they're a lieutenant. If they got 2 orange scars, they're a captain. And the idea behind the scars is that you go out and you find a really big monster or some creature to go hunt and kill, and you gotta have it leave a scar on your face. And if it leaves a scar, this is like through battle, that you can get promoted, or it allows you to get a promotion. It's a way of proving your self in the chapter. So, yes, as a lieutenant, you get 2 scars. As a captain, I'm not really sure, because at that point, like, you already have 2 scars on your face. But I don't do company by the pauldron, like the color of the pauldron. I like the cobalt metallic, and I stick with it all the way through. On the Space Marines leg pauldron and part that I do orange is where I determine the chapter's company mark. I'm going to hide this real quick. I haven't done it on any of my models yet, but to hold these guys up, if I wanted to say this guy's from second company, I do 2 orange lines on the leg, and it could be on any part of the leg. It could be 1 on this side, 1 on that side. It could be 2 on one leg. Doesn't matter. That just signifies that they're from that company. The only chapter, or the only part of company that's different from out of all this is first company. Because I liked a color scheme called the Seraphims. I think it was the Seraphon of the Abyss. I really liked their color scheme. So, and I had a bunch of models already painted in that color scheme. So I decided that I was going to incorporate it into my first company. So my first company is black armor with blue trim. And this is my first company captain. This is actually my second, really first actual custom built and painted Space Marine. But yeah, first company is blue and black. So that is my chapter lore. And we are at the 3-hour mark, but I'm going to keep going because I am enjoying myself. So, yeah, I haven't really geeked out about my chapter in a while. Felt good. I just finished all the green. Should I actually call it here for the night? I probably should. I should get some sleep. And go through that. Because I'm meeting some friends tomorrow. Yeah, you know what? I should. So, I'm going to move over to here. And we're actually going to pop up this song. So, yeah, sadly, I'm calling stream here. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm really happy that y'all were here. I had a lot of fun and all that. I'm glad to see some new faces here and everything. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. We got two goals. If we hit 500 subscribers within a challenge I'm doing for myself, because I'm trying to do 1,000 points of Space Marines within 20 days. Or trying to do 1,000 points of Space Marines. Yeah, I'm trying to do 1,000 points within 20 days. We're at the halfway point, and I'm kind of close. And if we reach the 500 point mark, reach the 500 subscriber mark, I'm adding a knight to that army. I'm building and painting a knight on stream. If we hit 1,000 subscribers, I am painting the lion on stream. I have the lion model. I've had it since I got into Warhammer. I want to paint him, but I don't feel like I'm good enough yet to paint him. So I kind of gave myself this weird little, when we reach this point, this is when I can do it. If you also want to help support the channel, I do have a Ko-Fi account that you can donate to. It just helps with getting new equipment and hiring an editor and all that stuff for videos. It's all that. But with that all said, you don't have to do that. Just having you here, hanging out, being a part of the community, and chatting is more than enough. So, I want you to go out there and make something awesome. I know you will.